Mark Weaver is probably one of the most prestigious coaches in all of college tennis, not just because of his longevity, but because of his success as well. We had the chance to talk to Mark during the NCAA team championships, and we recorded this the day before he faced off against Georgia in the NCAA team championship final. But it took us this long to post the video entirely. Yes, it took me a while. And yes, I'm sorry it took this long. We're very grateful to have Mark on the channel. But before you guys do enjoy our chat with the head coach of the Texas A&M Aggies, make sure you are subscribed to the Tweener at Tennis channel. We would love to have you guys join. We're trying to hit 6,000 subscribers by the end of the year, and we would love to have you join us on the channel. So make sure you are subscribed with notifications turned on. Also, let us know down in the comments below of what other college coaches you want us to interview and which colleges we should be visiting. We've been to a lot, but for this next year, we have a few surprises, and we're very excited to bring you some more college tennis content. So let us know down in the comments below of what schools you want us to go to and what coaches you want us to talk to. Without further ado, here's our chat with head coach of the Texas A&M Aggies from this past year's NCAA team championships, Mark Weaver. Mark, thank you so much for joining me. It's not every day we get to have someone of your pedigree be on the channel, so thank you so much for joining me.
Thanks for having me on the show here.
Absolutely. Mark, national champion, coming in as one of the favorites into the NCAA tournament. What's going through your mind right now with the team?
We're in a really good place right now. We've had a really strong season. We've played consistent tennis all throughout the season, and we're very healthy right now, and we're a very confident team right now. We've fortunate to have the majority of our team kind of been through these stages already, and it's a lot more familiar territory. So, even for myself as the head coach, just having been through it all last season, that kind of really puts things in perspective for me. And like I said already, the majority of our lineup went through the NCAA championships last year. So it's a lot about just the experience and knowing what it feels like on the big stages out there. And, it's really still comes down to the simple things and just putting your mind in a good place out there to perform the best you can.
So how do you keep the mentality of repeating success, or what do you look for when you're trying to do the same thing over and over again?
Well, I feel like we're very consistent with how we practice. We practice very hard. Our intensity levels are very high. And I feel like we just train at a very high level every day, so we're always just pushing to get better. The majority of our team, they have pro aspirations, so they have lofty goals, and I just feel like we're very consistent on a day-to-day basis in the practices. And if you're training and practices the way you're going to play in the matches, it just makes the matches that much easier. Not that it's easy, but we're in a good mindset. We know that we're as prepared as we possibly can be, and I think that's really helped us be such a consistent program for a while now.
So what's the mantra, or what's the mindset that you set for your team in each practice? What's the goal?
Well, it's as simple as one of our big mottos is, let's just get better today. And, I know that sounds very simple, but it is kind of what we're about and what we stand for. And, it depends. Some days we're working on singles, some days we're working on doubles, some days we're working a little bit of both. And just the kind of way we go after our practices. We do a lot of individual work in the morning. It's very individual oriented, and in the afternoons it's a little bit more of a team type practice there. And I think it's just the consistent work. It's basically tennis 2 times a day, and we get after it in the gym as well. And we just really teach the girls about just being very professional in all areas. We're very fortunate the way our nutrition's set up at A&M. It's like the best food you'll find in Texas, and the girls eat well, they eat healthy. They really take care of their minds and their bodies, and it really enables them to bring it every day out on the practice courts.
So for you, you've been doing this for such a long time. You have, I would say, success in your career already. Where did you learn your coaching style from, or where do you attribute it to?
Well, I feel like I've kind of learned a lot of things over the years. I draw sometimes on my playing days. I played at A&M and played a little bit on the pro circuit, and I learned a lot of things as a player. Also learned a lot of things through my coaches. My father was my coach in the juniors. I learned a lot from my father. The coach I played for at Texas A&M was a dear friend of mine, David Kent. I learned a lot through him and through my coaching experience at A&M. I started with Bobby Kleineke, a legendary coach. Bobby was in the coaching world for over 20 years at A&M as the head coach. I learned a lot through him, his management styles and coaching styles. And then I worked with Howard Jaffe for about 4 years and learned a lot with Howard. And just over the years, you start trying to figure out what works and what doesn't work. And I keep it pretty simple. And, we just really focus on the things that really matters out there, not trying to get too distracted with some things that maybe aren't really all that relevant. I think it's easy to get distracted with some little thing here, little thing there that probably doesn't really have a whole lot to do with your success.
Absolutely not. And what's that one piece of advice, or what's one thing that stuck with you in your tennis career or early coaching days that you put towards this championship caliber team?
Well, I think for me as the head coach, I think consistency is kind of the one thing that maybe kind of stands out. I feel like if you ask my girls, what's my maybe biggest strength, I think it's the consistency. They kind of know what they're always going to get from me on a day-to-day basis. It's not I'm not a very volatile person. It's pretty, just rock steady. And I think just, that pays off in these big matches. I feel like when you can look over at your coach and know that they're calm and confident and collected, that's for me as the coach, that's definitely the message I try to send to my girls. And the girls know they're a very confident team. They know they put in the work, and they're ready to go. There's hardly a day we're not ready to go.
Absolutely, and I do appreciate you taking time out of your day to talk to us. And I think I have one more question two. Sorry. In terms of recruiting, you've been able to recruit some of the best girls in the country, the world, I should say. How do you find success in that, or if I was a recruit for you, what's your pitch to me?
Yeah, you can't always get it right, but we like to have a lot of FaceTime with the girls and you study their results. And it's as simple as we tell them, if you want to work hard and you want to get better in tennis, Texas A&M is the right place for you. If you're not wanting to work hard, you're probably going to be pretty miserable. You're going to be a bit of an outcast. So I think we've really been able to weed out maybe the kids that aren't all in. We want kids that are all in, and you're going to get better at our program. We've been successful with student athletes that came in at a high level and helped them improve. We've also been successful with some that maybe a little more lower on the totem pole. I think if they're hungry and want to get better, we're the right place for you.
So my last question to you is, in terms of the Universal Tennis Rating System and seeing what it's providing for college athletes and recruitment, what do you find that's beneficial looking at a UTR rating, or how have you used UTR to kind of help you with the process?
Yeah, UTR is such a great tool. We've been using it for quite some time now. It's definitely as simple as if I see a recruit, whether on the transfer portal or still in high school, it's one of the first things you do. You type their name in on the UTR and you see if they fit our range. Yeah. And it's just a really, at a minimum, it's a real simple, quick snapshot. And you can delve into it even more and more, looking at the results. Well, she beat an 11. She's capable of playing at a high level. And it's just a very valuable tool. I know in my early years of recruiting and coaching, there's a lot of wasted time trying to get information on a kid, and the UTR is just really does a great job of compacting so much information all into one.
Awesome. Thank you, Mark. I really appreciate it.
Thanks so much.
Thank you.
Today's interview is brought to you by Universal Tennis Power Subscription. Not only do you get to see a more detailed number to see where you stack up against your opponents and other players on the UTR Sports website, but you also get power perks. Includes 30% off Tennis Warehouse, 30% off Total Pickleball, 35% off the UTR shop, 25% off Diadem, $30 off Whoop, and 20% off print, and so much more. If you are interested in that and you're interested in supporting the YouTube channel, make sure to check out the link in the description.